Welcome back to another Macro Golf podcast here at the Full Swing headquarters. Today we're going to be doing an interesting topic. We're going to be covering our controversial takes. Apparently the boys have got some good ones. They haven't told me. They want honest reactions, so quite looking forward to this one because I'm not sure what's going to come out. So
cancelled.
I'm actually quite let's hope we don't. Let's hope it's not that bad. Sam, I want to hear yours. You really want us to keep yours quiet, so I'm interested.
I think practice makes most golfers worse.
Whoa. Okay. I mean, straight out of the bat. All right.
Okay, I can see where you're going with that.
So let me reference it. I think how most golfers practice makes them worse. So I'm not saying all practice makes people worse. I think, I don't want to put a percentage on it. I think most people's practice makes them worse golfers in terms of scoring.
Okay.
In terms of like long term.
In terms of long term.
Okay, so I would take the assumption you're not talking about a beginner golfer, perhaps. Like, 'cause usually a beginner golfer, if they're just hitting golf balls, they're probably gaining some level of skill, right? Yeah. You're probably talking more about maybe the intermediate, maybe slightly more advanced, but more the intermediate golfer, maybe the standard 15, 12 handicapper, 20 handicapper, that sort of zone. That's probably what you're referring to, right?
And I also would like just to throw all the caveats on what you're saying. Maybe not getting worse, but definitely not getting better.
Potentially.
Actually getting worse.
Wow. I can understand what you're saying. So you're kind of going, they're getting worse probably because they're trying, right? So they're trying.
Oh, they're 100% trying.
They're trying to maybe find a swing feeling.
Yep.
And then they become obsessed with that swing feeling.
Yep.
And then they become obsessed with thinking where the club needs to be at the top, and then where it needs to be down here, and then it needs to be in the next position. And then all of a sudden they become, from when they first started, or maybe where they had some success, when they were a little bit more, let's say, blissfully unaware.
Outcome focused.
And they were very outcome focused.
Yep.
They were very externally focused.
Absolutely.
And then they become internally focused.
Yes.
I have seen that a million times, so I would agree.
There we go.
I think especially with things like chipping as well, like if people get obsessed a little bit with chipping or a little bit with putting, I would also say, like, full swing also happens, but I think when people, not maybe if they could practice chipping all the time, they wouldn't get worse, but like if they started obsessing about this technique, or I would have started improving. Like, I've definitely seen people putt worse when they've started working on their putting.
Yeah, agreed.
I definitely have seen that.
Yeah,
people,
for sure.
People start getting these putting stations out. I'm going to start working on my putting, and they putt way worse.
Yeah, because they're great at putting, and they're like, I want to keep this super putt.
Yeah.
And then it's like, so now I'm going to buy a physio putting art, get the putting art going. It's like, never done that in their life. We're a great putter before. Now they're thinking about where the stroke needs to be at every point. 100%.
Yeah, and pace control just like falling off a cliff. Yeah.
A good point for that would kind of be juniors, how they chip in general. Like good juniors, they tend to just hand around a chipping green all day and just play little games against each other. And then they get to a certain level, and then their coach tells them maybe they need to start refining. I don't know, let's say they need to change their wrist angles at the top to increase flight. And then they go away, start working on that, and all of a sudden, like, results start dropping a little bit. Yeah. Because all of a sudden the fun's gone out of it. They've stopped taking. They've started becoming more serious about where the positions need to be. I'm not saying that's not important. I am saying sometimes if you become too focused on that, like you're saying, it takes away so much of the ability of controlling ball flight. Which I think that's a great take. I think that's a good take. I like that one.
Thank you.
I like that one. Not too controversial maybe, but go on, Joe. I want to hear yours.
Yeah, I've got a few.
You're a controversial guy, as it is.
I have quite a big controversial one. Handicap system. I think there are way too many competitions in golf at the moment that are based on handicap. I think there's so, like, if you I saw this as an analogy, and I'll shout out a club coach for this analogy, which I thought was a really good one. And he said that if you joined a running club, you wouldn't just like let someone start like really close to the end, and then like if they beat the marathon world record holder, you wouldn't then give them a medal for first place. Like, that's not, like, I don't know why in this game we feel like we have to give so many prizes based on handicaps. Like, it almost becomes like there's no incentive for a lot of people. If winning golf competitions is your goal, there is almost zero incentive to get better. Because the better you
agree.
get, the less chance you've got of winning a golf competition.
I agree. I think.
There we go.
Nah,
you asked for controversial. I'll give you controversial.
I mean, the problem is I do agree with this, right? Like, and when I was an amateur, I didn't obviously care about I never cared what my handicap was. It never really bothered me at all throughout my whole time as being an amateur, because I always knew I wanted to just keep getting better and better and better. So like, to me, the handicap was just like, who cares? Like, it's kind of just like, no, I don't care about net. Like, if anything, I would rather, I would rather win the gross rather than come, win the net. Like, even if there's no prize for the gross.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather beat all my friends. Like, I don't know, let's say my friend shot 70, I shot 69. Like, that's more important to me than beating some random 15 handicapper who just, shot his round of his life where he broke 80.
Yeah.
Like, that to me isn't that important. So maybe it's a skill level talking.
Yeah, I think it's the way that I would see it in terms of a lot of competitions. I feel like we should have, instead of having handicaps in that way, we should just have categories. Like just literally have this block, this block, this block, this block, and then if you're doing really, really well, there's some kind of system that moves you into the next block, and you just compete against people that are around your level, right? And that might be a block of 5 shots, for example. You might have anyone scratching on the plays in one comp. You then got maybe scratch to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 20 to whatever, and then you might have 25 plus or whatever. And it just means that you're playing with people that are a similar ability to you all the time, but you're always playing with no shots. On to the next.
No, I like it.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
I just think it's ridiculous. I just think
Yeah.
that there's so many people that will be listening to this that will be around that handicap level of somewhere around 5 to 10. And there's a bunch of people, I'm sure, that listen to this podcast that are around that handicap level that try very, very hard at their game, trying to shave every little shot off, and they'll go and have the best round of their life. They'll shoot 37 points, be absolutely over the moon with it, and then they'll get someone playing off 22 that goes and shoots 18 over, bogey golf off 22 handicap and beats them.
Yeah.
And I just think there's no incentive for that guy playing off 22 to get down to 18, 17, 16. And it becomes a bit of a...
I guess that's kind of where people love this game as well, right? Like, people love being able to play against your friend who's not that great, but you have great company together, and you go out and have a game.
Fine, go and have a game.
Yeah, I
go and have a game.
Maybe a full competition.
And if you wanna go and have a little bet, we've played a couple of times. Where I said, right, give me a couple of shots and let's go and have a game. More than a couple, but let's go. Give me some shots. Let's go and have a game. Like that is great. And if you want to go and have like little bets against your friends, you can go do stuff. Right, give me 5 shots, let's go and have a match. Give me 10 shots, let's go and have a match. Absolutely fine. But when 95% of club competitions are based on handicap, of which there's probably 75% of the membership base that will never have a chance of winning any of those competitions, I feel like we're maybe at a chance of reframing this system a little bit in a way to make competition golf a little bit fairer.
Yeah, good. I like it.
There you go.
it. I mean, I can't say I'm not in agreement. So.
Yeah.
You've
got to try and fight back a little bit.
Okay, so mine's fairly similar to Sam's-ish. It's fairly similar. My take is people practice for too long. So people's practice sessions are too long. Now that's people are probably thinking, well, if I don't practice a long time, how am I going to get better? Because too many people think in quantity. I think that's the issue. I feel like if more people did less, so less amount of balls, less amount of swings, less amount of repetitions, you would start to heighten the importance of quality. Like, I feel like that's where I go with that point. So it's not so much I want you to only practice for 5 minutes. I'm not saying that 5 minutes once a week. That's not going to cut it. But certainly, the only reason I say that is because I see it week in, week out, where I go down the range as you were, and you see people hitting golf shots, and they're just doing it again and again and again and again and again, and then nothing changes. It just feels like the same thing. But they are putting time and effort in. Like, that's why it's so similar to yours. 100%. But I do feel, when I'm really talking about time, I'm talking about, like, I would like to almost pressure the time, like really condense it down, like put it into like you've only got, let's say, 5 minutes daily or 10 minutes daily. Go find a way to get those swing feels. It creates a little bit more urgency in the move, and creates a little bit more urgency in the thinking, the brain pattern. I found a lot of success when I actually changed, because obviously full-time golf, I was practicing a lot and big time. I actually found when I had the opportunity to practice less, I actually found the game actually improved, believe it or not.
Would you link that to like how you should actually, if you are trying to change the move, how you should be going about changing that move is linked to this as well? Do you feel like that if you do have an hour and a big bucket of balls, that's not going to be the most efficient way for you to make a change? But if you only had 10 minutes and you had a couple of things to do, it kind of it removes the ability to further ingrain the bad move, I suppose, what I'm trying to get at. So like, say you get someone gets 100 balls, the first 10, 15 balls, they might be really diligent on that drill that they're trying to do. And then by the time they get to like 30, 40, 50 balls, and that final 50 balls they go, you end up them just kind of pounding out the original move again. And it gives them more time to just ingrain the poor move, where if they only had 10 minutes, they're more likely to focus for that 10 minutes and only do the good reps, and none of those bad reps are going to start to creep in.
I'm doing it from a point of where how long the brain can stay focused, how long the brain can actually, come back with one skill.
Exactly,
Like, that's exactly what you're saying, right? Like, completely agree. I feel like people are they're too high of expectants of themselves to think they can actually fully engage with themselves for that long. It's very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. You're going to start getting lazy. You're going to you go in with this bundle of energy when you start practicing. I would almost say warm up, create a goal for 10 minutes, try and achieve that goal in 10 minutes, get out of there. Right, like, and it doesn't, like, in these sessions, I'm not saying you got to go to the range and only go there for 10 minutes. I'm saying you could do things at home, learn to do things.
I think that's a bit of the barrier. Like when someone gets the chance to go to the driving range and they've got ready and they've driven there and they've got their, and then, but at that point, it's pretty much the same price to get 100 balls as it is to get 50 balls. And then they're like, well, now I'm here, I might as well do this and I might as well do that. It becomes harder to commit to only doing 10, 15 minutes, right? So I agree with saying that if you could do something that was away from that, then I think that does mean that the 10 minutes is probably a little bit more likely, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, I mean, I don't think that's that controversial. I think you'll struggle to find people that disagree with that.
Oh, really?
I think if you did 10, I think what you're saying is 10 minutes of efficient work is better than an hour of ball bashing.
I think if I told my clients to only do, or some of my clients to only do 10 minutes practice and not do the hour, they'd be like, what? They'd be a little
If you worded it like that.
I mean.
Yeah, that's fair.
If I worded it in that clickbaity fashion. Then
if you ask most people what's better, 10 minutes or an hour, most people are going to say an hour. What's really interesting is there are tons of studies. There's lots of like physical studies with like Olympian, like not overhead squats, clean and press, jerk, like a lot of the power lifters. Their sessions are actually really short, but they're there multiple times a day. They're there daily. They're splitting these up because it's such a high level skill. I think people overestimate how much mental focus they actually have. And it was the same like when we all used to revise for exams and stuff like that. A lot more now it's like break it down.
You revised?
There's only one guy.
Backtrack here.
But a lot of the stuff now is that these big hour and a half like sessions where you're trying to learn something. Actually, you get a ton more from like little 20 minutes, little 10 minutes where you're really paying attention. You're really kind of observant to what you are trying to do. So I completely agree on that.
Yeah, it's true. And sometimes, like, I think for me now, I've been kind of forced into having to do that because it's quite a luxury for me to have a couple of hours to go and practice. So if I get 10 minutes in between a session, I'll be like, I'll just smash some balls against the wall quick. Like 10 minutes of that and then do the next session. So I think sometimes it actually should be a little bit easier for people to fit in. I think 10 minutes, less of a barrier.
In between a couple of meetings,
Sure.
100%.
Should we do one more each?
Okay. Have I got one more?
I've got one more.
Okay.
I think I've got one more. I'm going to bring it a bit more to
I reckon
kind
we've
of
got thousands.
Oh, probably.
if we sat here for a second, probably should have got prepared. Really,
a bit more to what we do on the physical side of things. I would say most golfers can never swing the club they want to swing the club.
As in the way they want to swing the club?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get golfers coming in saying, right, I'm trying this move, I'm copying Rory McIlroy. I'm like, okay, cool, what do you do for work? He's like, well, I sat down at a desk 8 days, 8 hours a day. Start testing some stuff, their hips can't turn, their back's absolutely jacked up, like, just can't move the club at all. I was like, well, you're never going to do that. And I think we have this obsession with golf because we can have the same clubs as the pros, we can play the same courses as the pros, we can dress like them, that we think, oh, cool, I can swing the club like them.
We can know their swing field.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
We have all this analysis of like whether it's some TPI assessments they've done or whether it's them having coaching lessons that are on YouTube or things like that, that it seems so accessible And we can actually hit a shot that's sometimes just as good as a tour pro. You get that like one-off chance or whatever. It's impossible for you to have a move like that because they are a professional athlete. They have a team of physios, nutritionists, golf coaches, psychiatrists looking after them to make sure they are in prime condition.
Yeah, I completely agree. I do think, pretty much everyone you'll see will have a level of limitation, and there's no way that's going to be swinging like Roy McIlroy out of the gate. There's just no way. You can have all his swing feels and understanding, and I agree with that.
I think if you wanted to go more controversial, you could actually say that most people that play golf as amateurs in their 30s, 40s, 50s will never have the golf swing they want to have.
Yeah.
That's probably the way of putting it, right? Like, it's not that they're ever going to have Rory swings. I think they're probably like, I'm never going to swing it like Rory necessarily. But even the swing that they imagine that they'll one day have, they might never have that.
Yeah, which is, as I kind of said, the swing that they want
realization,
to have.
That realization is quite tough for people because they feel like, one time they did hit their 8 iron 160 yards. Like, wow, like, I could do that. Well, I can't do that all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, well, plenty of reasons. Yeah, great, good one.
Come on.
I'm trying to word it. Right. So I think the not even most, like the majority of the time, like a really strong majority of time where people hit a bad golf shot or have a bad round of golf, it's never what they think it is.
That's a great
It's
opinion.
never what they think it is. They're all, anytime they play bad, they're going to blame it on something, and it's never that thing. Or they hit a bad golf shot and they're going to blame something, and it was never actually that thing.
That's really good.
They miss a green, or they hit a ball out of bounds, or they don't break 90, or wherever it is. They're always going to find that thing. Oh, it's because of X. It's never that. Always something else that they haven't considered or don't want to admit.
I mean, a daily occurrence, that one. Okay. Like so that, that is like just so spot on. It's ridiculous. Like I'll say, I don't know, someone's got a clear open face, and that's the main problem. Path's pretty neutral. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just coming straight over the top on it. Yeah. It's like, not one bit of it is that. Not one bit of it is that. But like, they're so adamant that that's the problem. Yeah. And then they're trying to change that problem, maybe trying to get more that way, which is getting the club face even more open, making that problem worse. 100%.
So like, even on a technical point, you've got that one. The technical point is someone will foul one OB, and be like, oh, I've got to be quick on that. Got to be quick on that. Or didn't just the way that you hit the golf shot means that eventually you're going to do that. Another one, what other good examples? Wrong golf clubs, wrong golf ball. Normally I use this size tee. All of these million things that people think, I slipped that one. I didn't have my right shoes on. Or all of these million ideas that people can come up with why they didn't play well that day. Generally, it's not that.
Very good. Interestingly, the most common one I found with that is the shanks.
Shanks is an interesting
people's
one.
an opinion of so straight away. Oh, I've got the shanks. I'll go okay. And then the first thing I say, right? So they hit like 3 or 4 shanks in a row. I'll say, what's a shank? Like what's causing you to shank that? And they'll say, right, I'm doing this, and I'm saying, okay, what is it though? Like what's happening with the club and the ball? And almost, I would say 75% plus, probably more, they will say, I've just caught it straight out of the toe. I'm like, ridiculously high amount that people say that. And I'm like, wow. You realise that's not even
close.
You're like literally the furthest point away. I'm like, so then what I'll say, I'm like, no. Try and miss this ball out the toe for me. So I'll say, I want you to like skim the ball, flush out the centre. Yeah. It's always the next thing that happens. I'm like, so you're trying to toe it now, and now you're catching out the centre. They're like, I just don't understand that. So understanding is low. Yeah. Yes, I completely agree.
To kind of add to that, I think most people jump to some sort of technical excuse on the course when they hit a bad shot, and then you kind of ask them, well, like, where were you aiming? What was did your shot process change kind of behind the ball? Like, did any of that change at all? And like, nothing. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, we barely even scratched the surface with these excuses, right? Like, we're not zero mental consideration, or zero course management consideration generally. Like, it's
always a technical
they'll stand up at quite a tight hole and they hit drive in the trees. But, I must have like done this on that hole. It's like, no, it's just like fucking tight. Like, the tight space. You just hit it there. Like, it's normal. Or, missing parts, be like, that bobbled, or I pulled it, or whether it was just a complete misread, or they did misread it and they just pulled it. Generally, the excuse that we come up with in our brain is not the actual reason. I think that holds us back quite a lot from actually getting better.
I like that one.
That's across the board.
Yeah,
beginners,
100%.
amateurs, pros,
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone does that.
Completely agreed.
Got him.
Okay. I've got two running through my brain, but I'm going to go with...
Do both.
Okay, so I'll tell you what. I'll say golf sayings, so certain golf sayings people say to each other and their friends, right, are the worst golf advice. It's literally the worst golf advice you could possibly get.
That's not controversial. That's not.
No, wait.
Oh, go on.
So the saying of drive for show, putt for dough is the worst golf saying ever made. It doesn't. It was made in a time where people were just terrified of losing a ball, and therefore they assumed that was the only way to play. It is not a good saying. Like you need to be a great driver to be good at golf. I don't know any plus handicappers who are just good at putting and that's it, and they're just terrible off the tee. They just sort of get it done. They're great drivers of the ball, and they're pros are great drivers of the ball. It is when you look statistically and you look at the PGA Tour and the money. You go down the money list. Yeah. Go have a little look at see the top 10 putters on tour for last season. Go look at, I haven't even seen, but I know what it's going to look like. And then look at the top 10 drivers of the golf ball. So top 10 strokes gained driving and top 10 strokes gained on putting. And just see which list you know better off.
Yeah. Right. The winner that week will be the best putter of the best drivers. Yeah. Whoever putted the best out of the best drivers that week.
Correct. It's never... the best putter is usually the guy trying to fight for his card and he's grinding, trying to help the putts. Right? That's just flat out how it works. Yeah. And when you get a great driver who peaks his way onto the top 10, he's probably Scott Scheffler. I would have thought. That would be my guess. Yeah. So it just doesn't happen. So
I think Rory did it this last 18 months. I think he crept into high up the putting stats and then suddenly played.
If one of those guys is creeping in the top 10, it's good. It's Kurt. Yeah. You're not winning a golf event around those boys.
I think the thing with putting and driving as well, which is sometimes underrated, is that you're not just going to get the top 10 putter that week of the season suddenly turn up one week and start hitting it 330 off the tee. But you can get one of the guys who's hitting it 330 off the tee suddenly hold a lot of putts. So putting can be a little bit more streaky. Yeah. But your driving distance is your driving distance. Mm-hmm. You're not going to just suddenly start ripping it 40 yards further one week and then next week go back to hitting it 300.
Agreed.
So if you're hitting it far often, you're always going to hit it far often. That just is what it is, and then you can get streaky putting.
I almost think that saying was made by someone with a low ego, just didn't drive the ball very well.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Absolutely. He putted great. Yeah. He's that's what he did.
Yeah. Or just a putting coach, basically.
Just trying to sell it. Yeah. 100%. All good?
No, I've
got more.
Oh, okay. I'll go from a proper coaching standpoint. We don't even need to talk about this one because it's just. But if you still speak about this or talk about this, which the reason I'm going to say it is just because it is the worst golf advice, from a coaching perspective. If a coach gave this, I'd be heavily concerned. Is keep your head down. It's just a point from a coaching perspective, which is laughable in it just doesn't make any sense. Keeping your head down.
Yeah, I feel we're slowly we're growing out of that one slowly.
You think?
No.
No, we're growing out. The people we're surrounded by are growing out of it. Yeah, trust me.
If you had mics on a range, you're going to hear that multiple times a day.
The amount of juniors I heard get told by their parents to keep
that's what it is. That's what it is.
It's a tough look. Yeah, and it's really difficult to not break my lesson midway and say, just lift that head up.
Just actually do the
opposite. Look at target, you're swinging. Go on. Don't be afraid.
I've got another one.
Go.
I think that adverse conditions of wind, rain, course conditions, all these things hurt better golfers than they do worse golfers. I think when the weather's bad and the course conditions are bad, I still feel like an 18-20 handicap, I can shoot 18 to 20 over. And I feel like someone around I feel like I'm preaching a lot today to these handicap levels, but someone around the 5 to 10, 5 to 12 mark is going to be a real hindrance in those conditions. And I feel like then you go back the other way when you get to really good players, they know how to handle that a little bit better. So you'll then find another shift of a very, very good amateur player or tour player that can handle those conditions a lot better. Again, you kind of shift out the other side of that curve. But I think in that middle zone of like, you probably could be a little bit more down to scratch players as well, but like kind of maybe scratch to 10. I really feel like that category of golfer is the one that struggles the most in bad conditions.
I think that's good.
But I think that higher handicappers don't appreciate that often. That when they don't maybe hit the ball very high, or their shots are when you have a little bit less consistency with your personal result, the external conditions affect you less in that way. I think greens, like bobbly greens, is probably one that probably makes a bit of a difference to that as well. And I think wind is another one that goes on. I think it's something that doesn't get mentioned a lot. That in poor conditions, I think that handicap group
that's good.
Don't get benefited out for that.
All right, I'll do one last one. I think most golfers spend more. The golfers that spend more money on golf get less results if they are just buying new clubs, new equipment, things like that.
Do you think that's due to the mindset of the fact that that's where they think the fix is going to come from?
100%.
Yeah. I mean, if someone's got that mindset, then yes, I would agree with that.
You get
and
sucked
therefore,
in by
if they're buying it, they probably do have that mindset.
the adverts every year of new drivers coming out that are longer, straighter, more consistent. Yeah, perfect. I'll buy that. I'll get better.
I think if you're continuously buying every single year a new driver and continuously buying every single year new irons, that's just not going to help at all in any way, shape, or form. Like it just won't help. Treat yourself once. Then maybe treat yourself again when the body's changed a little bit and like you actually need to change. Like that's it. The equipment. Sorry, if you're a club fitter, it doesn't change that much. It hasn't changed very much for a long time. There's a controversial take.
Well,
it hasn't changed. I think that's LDR.
I wanted to mention that one as well as a controversial take, but I think it's another excuse for people as well. I think that,
wrong clubs.
Yeah, I just
didn't get fit for this.
Yeah, I think there's a degree of like I'm not an expert at this at all, but loft and length and line, I'm sure get those things set for your height. As long as they're correct, I think you're talking about marginal gains, which if you've got the cash and you want to do it, then marginal gains are good, but they're not the reason you're slicing. It's not like I'm sure a great club fitter can help you.
Yeah, I mean if your lies bang out, then but as soon as that's correct, and as long as you don't go crazy different in the golf swing, like it's not going to move.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's good to get them rechecked.
Yeah,
that's if you want to do something with your clubs, I'll just get the loft and irons checked.
Yeah, mine definitely. I especially hit a lot on driving range mats.
Yeah,
my big experience of that was, and shout out to Ross. This is one of the best club fitters there are, at least Elite Golf Studios. I did driver fitting with him 3 years ago. We got about 20-30 minutes in. It was just like, to be honest, there's not much I can do.
So really,
I was just absolutely spanking it all over the place. So it was like there's only so much I can do, but because you are so inconsistent, we can't notice any patterns. So it's just like, that's what it is.
But that shows the difference between someone who's very good at their job and someone who's not just trying to sell you something.
So honest. That's
why I send them on to Ross.
Exactly.
Shout out Ross.
There we go.
There you go. Little free shout out. There you go. Nice. Anything else, lads? Anything else you want to add? Oh, we could speak for hours on this, but
that's best not.
Maybe do episode 2.
You just want to get some things
simple, I need a little more time. Give me a little bit of time to think of it. I'll think of a million.
All right, we'll call it there before Joe gets us all cancelled anyway on this episode.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for Full Swing for having us down. If anybody wants to find out a little bit more about us, where can they maybe find some things? What can they fill out under here? Sam?
Me? If you want to head to our scorecard, you can do our quiz. It lasts about 3 to 5 minutes. You get a full report about kind of all our pillars of performance. You get an individualised report on areas we think you can improve on and how you can improve on those. And then we have an inquiry if you are interested on working with us or finding more about any of the stuff we have talked about today. If you do want to talk to us about our controversial opinions, hit us up, find us out.
Also, stick your ones below in the comment. I want to hear everyone else's controversial takes. So
I want to read some next time.
We'll read some out. Little Q&A next time.
There we go.
That'd be fun.
We'll do that for the next one. But yeah, thanks again for listening, and we hope to catch you on the next one.